This is me, carrying my bike over an abandoned railroad in 100-degree weather. But why am I here? In the middle of the Southern Californian desert, there's a structure that seems completely out of place. A massive wooden bridge standing over a rugged canyon. It's remote, abandoned, and it holds a secret history that many people haven't heard of. This is Goat Canyon Trestle, the largest freestanding wooden train trestle bridge in the world. I've always wanted to explore this, but because of its remote location near the US-Mexico border, I've never made the trek out. However, I want to see it before it gets destroyed. So I made it my goal to get out there, and what I plan to do is capture drone footage of the bridge to preserve it from the sky before it's gone forever.
So one thing's kind of crazy. I'm down here in San Diego right now, and there's actually a train museum here that has a full-scale replica of this entire railroad and the Goat Canyon Trestle. So I'm gonna go look at it and explore it from a model perspective and be able to see this whole track built in a miniature replica.
What I faced to get out to this trestle is 17 miles of harsh desert, multiple bridge crossings that might be a little sketchy, and a range of tunnels from 100 feet to half a mile long, some of which have already collapsed. Now, because this is such a long hike, I opted to bring my mountain bike and ride as much as the track as possible. My buddy Justin met up with me for this adventure, and pretty quick we came across some abandoned train cars that's just sitting in the middle of the desert. After doing some research, I found out these are surplus railcars pulled out here decades ago when a small operator tried to resurrect this line. They never made it further, and we pause here to explore to see what to expect as we push deeper on this forgotten railroad.
Lots of bullet casings out here.
It's a small reminder how the desert never sits empty. Even out here, where we feel completely alone, there are people wandering, exploring, watching, or even destroying. However, 100 years back, it wasn't just desert drifters, it was engineers, and they left something bigger for us to find. The Goat Canyon Trestle. Now, to get to Goat Canyon, we actually have to go over multiple wooden train trestles, as well as going through multiple tunnels through these mountains. And this harsh landscape is one of the reasons that this entire rail line has become abandoned.
So I'm climbing over the first overpass. Some of these tunnels have caved in, so you have to go up and over to get around them. And it's a nice view from up here, but it's not easy. We're definitely at elevation here.
We have to roll the clock back over 100 years. The story starts at Goat Canyon.
A piece of railroad history, stuck in time, standing still.
And this is where a massive trestle bridge cuts through the mountains. the Goat Canyon Trestle revolutionized travel through San Diego by connecting the remote valleys with the coastline. The story of these trains began in 1906. A San Diego entrepreneur, John D. Spreckles, frustrated by decades of delays, took it upon himself to fund a direct rail line connecting San Diego with El Centro. Spreckles personally bankrolled the construction. Legal rights to build the railroad came easy, and Spreckles partnered with a powerful railroad executive, Edward H. Harriman, who controlled the major lines like the Union Pacific. Construction began in September 1907, but almost immediately the project ran into trouble. A deep economic depression was drying up the funding, and Spreckles adapted by rerouting parts of the line through the Baja California, securing permission from the Mexican government.
Oh man, it is so hot out here, and watch is saying it's over 90 degrees right now, which, you know, for 90 degrees it feels like a hot 90. That's why I have this scarf, because it's saving me out here, just giving me some protection from the sun, because as you go up these tracks, there's zero protection. The only thing that you have are these tunnels, so it's a little bit of air conditioning when you go through the tunnel, but otherwise you are out in the sun and it is brutal.
As we explore further along the route, we keep coming across these train tunnels. Each one is extremely tall to account for the steam when steam trains would pass through them. And crossing through this entire mountain range, this train track goes through 17 of these tunnels. The longest one is over half a mile long. However, not every tunnel is open.
Some of these tunnels are locked, so you have to do a bypass. So I just went through here. It's locked at this end, so I'm gonna have to go up and around. There's trails around all the tunnels, but it just takes so much time to go up and around.
Tragically, Harriman passed in 1909. The Southern Pacific Railroad sued him, trying to recover $3 million tied up in Harriman's estate. After 4 long years, Spreckles won the case, and Southern Pacific renewed their support for the project. Construction on the Mexican side started in early 1910, and by mid-year, the first passengers have traveled to Tijuana. But progress slowed as the Mexican Revolution broke out, halting work until the conflict ended.
This is the part of the adventure where it starts getting brutal. It's about 100 degrees. Oh man.
In March of 1932, an earthquake hit the region, and tremors shifted Tunnel 15. The alignment of this tunnel cracked and collapsed, and the engineers had a choice: rebuild the inside stone or think differently. And they chose to reroute around this tunnel. And to do that, they had to build a trestle that would leap a massive canyon instead of cutting through it. They assembled the sections down below and hoisted them up, redwoods, not steel, because the desert heat swings would have destroyed the metal. And they gave it a curve, 14 degrees, so that it will dance with the wind instead of fighting it. By this section of the rail line, there's some more train cars that are left out here. This one is just completely burned out. There's also a few freight cars that have gone over the edge.
Check this out.
Just a gentle reminder that we're definitely not alone out here. the 1940s, this line became important because of the war that was going on in other parts of the world. This desert route became a hidden artery for the war effort. But after the war, cars became the preferred way of travel, so by 1951, scheduled passenger service was gone. And the only trains using this rail line was freight. That was when the tunnels didn't collapse or the storms didn't wash out the rails. In 1976, Hurricane Kathleen hammered the line and sections of the line were destroyed. Repairs dragged, and by 1983, tunnel failure shut it down again. A temporary revival came in 2004, but in 2008, everything shut down. At this point, we were both exhausted and barely talking. The heat was crushing, and for a moment I wondered if it's even worth continuing. But turning back now would mean giving up on the whole reason we came, so we pushed forward. Step after step, the canyon kept stretching, but then, just as it felt endless, we made it to the final tunnel, and coming out the other side, the tracks curved. And there it was, rising out of the gorge like something out of another time. The Goat Canyon Trestle.
This is an impressive structure. It's crazy how it's just out here in the middle of nowhere and they're just kind of leaving it. Eventually, it's gonna fall down. Earthquake comes, rock comes off, takes out some of that planks in the bottom. I'm sure it's gonna fall, but at this point, there's no plans to do anything with it. So this is just left out here as a relic of this railway. It's big. I mean, it's a lot bigger in person than you can imagine. And it's unbelievable the amount of work that went into building this entire railway through all these mountains, through all the tunnels, building a wooden structure way out here. It's a bummer that they're just gonna let it fall apart. It's so crazy to see a model version of this track and stand right here. You would hope that somebody would want to restore this, but the state of it now is earthquake, boulder, fire. It could easily come down, take it out, and it's gone forever.
In a world speeding toward a digital future, places like this are an anchor to what's real. They're living pieces of history, offering a tangible connection to the past. But without vision and care, they'll be lost forever, leaving future generations with nothing more than museum replicas.